Mamma mia, it's pizza time in Mr. Cow's Pizza Kitchen, and I gotta make a pizza. Ingredients: bread, red sauce, solid milk, pepperoni, pepini, papungus, Percocet. Put it in the heat box and ask the customer what soda do they want. What soda do you want? We only have pepprinis brand items. The pizza's done. Get it out of the oven and gaze. Just for a moment. It looks fine. Box it, give it to Brandon. Make sure Brandon isn't high. Second guess your judgment. Ask Veronica. She seems to think he's fine. Just let Brandon deliver the pizza. Wait anxiously and pray to the Italian god, pretty sure it's Jesus, and hope the Antichrist of pizza doesn't get his hands on my impeccable creation. What's that? All that made sense except for the pizza Antichrist part? You don't know of the Noid? This guy? Well, I guess he may have been before your time. Well, sit down, kiddos, and let me tell you the tale of the Noid. It all started back in 1986. Oh, hold on one sec. There's a phone call. Hello? All right, I'll get that taken care of in a jiffy. Yeah, thanks for calling. Okay, Brandon's making pizza in heaven now. Let's talk about the Noid. 1986, the Noid arrived. There he is. But why this guy? He doesn't exactly scream pizza, at least not when I'm fucking him. In fact, I'm not even entirely sure this guy can speak English, or if he's even a guy. I'm not sure if this is human what's in front of me right now. Now, Domino's Pizza was doing pretty good in the 1980s, but good isn't good enough in the world of business. You have to be the best, and in the 1980s, the best pizza chain was Pizza Hut. Domino's knew for a fact they could beat that disgusting pig slop they were farting out over at Pizza Hut. They just needed the right marketing scheme. And the marketing team at Domino's delivered. 30-minute or less delivery. It was genius. Just have the drivers show up faster and then the pizza will be kind of warm and also edible. I mean, when you really think about it, why is it so difficult just to have a pizza show up in less than 30 minutes? Well, it's because of this guy. The Noid is the embodiment of everything that gets in the way of delivering a delicious pizza to your home in just 30 minutes. And here I was thinking it was laziness and substance abuse that made my pizza late. No, it's one of Satan's minions. And it fits honestly with the narrative. I mean, pizza is a creation of God. The Noid is using creations of science, an affront to God to destroy pizza. It all lines up far too well. He truly is the pizza Antichrist. The Noid was Domino's way of saying, hey, these other morons in the pizza industry don't even know how to deal with this made-up thing we just came up with. But we do. And the Noid was a huge marketing success. I'm talking t-shirts, video games, and lots of pizza delivered to people in probably a fair amount of time for the amount you paid for it. I mean, 30 minutes? Come on, that's great. You can watch a whole episode of Alf in that time, and then when you get your pizza, you can watch another episode of Alf with a delicious dish in front of you. But Mr. Cow, isn't this marketing scheme all just a big lie? Well, yeah, there isn't an actual Noid out there smashing pizzas with large machinery. But it's a fun lie. And that makes it okay so long as you're selling pizza and not fentanyl. And the Noid ads are a lot of fun to watch, especially if you're a fan of stop motion animation like myself. And all of this is thanks to Will Vinton, an incredibly talented animator whose studio was responsible for the California Raisins, the M&Ms with arms and anatomically correct genitals, as well as the Noid. And look, I know I've done a lot of joking around in this video, but Will Vinton was genuinely a fantastic animator who led his team in his later years to create some incredibly memorable stuff. The Noid is about as creative as it gets for brand mascots, and Will Vinton and company found a way to bring the Noid to life in a unique way. I mean, who introduces a villain as their main mascot? It'd be like if McDonald's got rid of their whole cast of characters, leaving only Grimace, and Grimace would piss in the fryer and ruin the fries at other restaurants, but not at McDonald's, because at McDonald's, we make Grimace miss piss. Avoid the Grimace piss. I don't know, I'm not a marketing guy, but you see what I mean. It's difficult to do, but with the right execution, really anything can work. That being said though, maybe don't start a marketing campaign where someone's pissing on things, unless of course you're a urologist. Or if you sell pregnancy tests, I guess. I mean, there's a few avenues you can go to, but you see what I mean. It's just right circumstances, right execution, really anything can come together. Now, I really like these old Noid ads. There's something about them that's just so charming and unique and perfectly fits in with the period when they were coming out in the late 80s and early 90s. 90s. And that, of course, is largely thanks to Will Vinton and his studio. And Will Vinton sadly passed away in 2018, but I like to think his legacy lives on through Leica, which is what his studio was rebranded to after it was kind of stolen from underneath him by Nike. Yeah, Nike. Or I guess Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. But still, it's kind of a sad but also happy story. Apparently, Will Vinton always wanted to make feature films, and even though the studio doesn't share his name any longer, I like to think Leica is carrying on his vision with their unique and creative films. But anyways, that was just a little tangent I wanted to go on because I thought it was interesting, and I like stop motion animation, and the Noid is stop motion animation. But that begs the question, this guy was pretty well liked. He sold a lot of pizzas, he was on t-shirts, he had a video game for a little bit. What happened to him? Well, after a successful run through the late 80s, complete with merchandising, video games, and lots of sold pizzas, things would take a turn for the worse. On January 30th of 1989, at a Domino's pizza location in Chamblee, Georgia, a mentally ill man held 2 Domino's employees hostage for 5 hours, and his name was Kenneth Lamar Noid. Armed with a .357 Magnum, Noid demanded $100,000 from the owner of Domino's Pizza and a white limo as a getaway car, believing that the Noid campaign had stolen his name, or at the very least was making fun of him personally. At one point during the 5-hour hostage situation, Noid said he'd give up a hostage in exchange for a copy of The Widow's Son. Don't know what that is, but once he got the book, he wound up not letting either of the hostages go. Noid got hungry at one point during the hostage situation and had the 2 Domino's employees make him 2 pizzas, and while Noid ate the pizza with his guard down, the 2 Domino's workers escaped, and Noid, shortly after, would surrender. Luckily, nobody got hurt in the hostage situation, and it was actually Domino's Pizza that gave the Domino's employees a chance to escape. And as much as that joke writes itself, I just feel too bad for Kenneth Lamar Noid in this story. He was a mentally ill person in the midst of an episode or in an ongoing episode that thought a marketing campaign was either directed at him or stealing from his personal life. It's just tragic and sad, and you have to feel for him, and thank God nobody got hurt in the incident. And also, you gotta feel bad for the Domino's employees that were in this situation. It's just nothing that you would even possibly be able to prepare for working at a Domino's, and props to them. It sounds like they didn't escalate things, they handled it well, and they got out of there safely, so props and sympathy to those two. That couldn't have been an easy thing to deal with. Kenneth Lamar Noid would be found not guilty on any of the charges brought against him for reason of insanity, and after spending some time in a mental institution, he took his own life in 1995. And with that, Domino's decided it was time to say goodbye to the Noid, except for any time they felt like using him in the last 20 years, like for a Crash Bandicoot mobile game. I mean, they really didn't care all that much. It was mostly a tabloid issue, honestly. This story was really heavily publicized, and the reason we're talking about it today is the same reason they were talking about it back then. It's because it's so strange and so out of left field. It's like nothing anyone has ever seen before in the world of marketing, let alone the world of pizza. And even all these years later, whenever the Noid shows up again in a marketing campaign or a video game for some reason, people always point to this incident. He is inseparable from it at this point, and I think it's best if we just leave him retired. Well, that's the bizarre and honestly kind of sad story of the Noid. It's really quite the tale, but now I think you're ready to start making your first Domino's pizza. And remember to avoid the Noid. No, seriously though, go get back to work. The training video's done, all right? There's a line out the fucking door. I can hear you hitting your fucking vape behind the desk right now, okay? Get the fuck back out there and start making the pizza, okay? Go make it a fucking pizza right now. Go make it a fucking pizza!